Oh, he's been those. Where's the flag? Oh, he passes for a touchdown.
So I'm here with Don Willis, head coach of Cabrillo High School Conqs. And Coach, just saw you at the Cabrillo High School alumni event.
It wasn't even 12 hours ago.
Exactly. And you had a great group of captains that you introduced at that event. And something, though, that you talked about at that event and you talked about during last season is you've never been one to soften the edges of kind of the reality of what the team was facing and the struggle they were going through. Could you talk a little bit about, after the season, the kind of the work you and your coaches did to evaluate the team and the players also coming together in the new reality of Conqs football?
Well, I mean, it's real simple. We looked at our season, we looked at games. Didn't have to necessarily look too hard, obviously, but we just knew we needed some change. We answered some hard questions. We knew we didn't play well at the quarterback spot. We knew we didn't play well on the offensive line. We actually did play well defensively, but when you can't score and you turn the ball over, it overshadows that. So we knew defensively we were going to be strong. And so we had to find a way that we could improve offensive line-wise and with the quarterback play, being consistent at those two positions, and we just flat out weren't last year. So we made some changes on the staff, within the staff, as far as my nephew JJ will be calling the offense this year. I will be working primarily with the offensive line. Just kind of makes sense, so we just said, hey, if we are going to be successful, these are the things that we need to do. So in January, when we went to off-season training, we said, look, these are the things we're going to do. You guys can either get on board. We know you don't like losing. But these are the things we feel that are going to make us better. So, we started a 6 o'clock in the morning weight group. We were either in the weight room or in the gym doing whatever. The boys ate it up. They really, really did. And that was something in years past at Cabrillo hadn't been very successful for us. I remember when I first came about 6-7 years ago, we tried it. Under Coach Knowles, and we'd get 10 guys here, 11, 12. We consistently had 30 to 35 kids every morning, Monday through Thursday, 6 in the morning, and they really, really ate it up. And we just kind of came and said, hey, I asked them if they all knew the definition of insanity. And, obviously with a bunch of high school kids, you're going to get, and I said, hey guys, it's expecting different results, but you're not willing to make changes. You're doing the same thing over and over. And so they, the eyes kind of lit up a little bit, and they've just bought into it. And it's been, where we are this year at this point is heads and tails above where we were last year. Really expecting good things. We got a good group of seniors, and they've been busting their tail. They really, really have.
And you've kind of touched on both a mental and physical aspect of developing in Cabrillo. Last year, injuries were an issue, right. Struggling to get a run game going, and then the mental side of things of kind of being worn down. You have 6 captains. Have they led the charge in both mental and physical development of the program?
Most definitely. And I would say they have been, not only are they the leaders as voted by their teammates, they're leaders, they don't talk a lot. They just do what they're asked to do. And they motivate their teammates. They pick each other up. It really is a good group. And they're still teenagers, and we still deal with everything else, but for the most part, they just want to be better, and that is really what's helped us.
And speaking of offensive line play, and you mentioned this last night to a bunch of, I think, very happy Conqs fans to hear, you feel you may have one of the best offensive linemen in the area. Could you talk about Jake a little bit?
Jake is, he's a kid that is always the first one there, always the last one to leave. He's a workhorse. He eats things up. He just wants to learn. He wants to do better. And he's a kid that I remember his freshman year. He's always been a big kid, but he's kind of ballooned up. He's about 6'3.5", 6'4", 305, 310 pounds, and he has developed into really one of the more dominating offensive linemen. He was, like I said last night, he was 4 points away from Offensive Lineman of the Year last year, behind the kid from St. Joe, the center from St. Joe, who was a damn good player himself. I might be a little bit biased. I think Jake, was a little bit better, but he should be so dominant this year, and he wants to be. He had an opportunity this summer to go up to and play. He got invited to the USA football camp up at Davis last month, and just ate it up, and he loved it. And he's just, he's an animal, man. And that's what you need.
And in terms of how you feel different positions are coming together, can you talk about some strengths you guys have identified early on, some positions that you feel like are still taking some time to form?
Our biggest strength, again, like I said, is defensively, and it's going to be our linebacking core and our safeties and our D-line, which were our strengths last year. Again, it was a little bit overshadowed because we were playing from behind so much. We weren't very productive offensively. DeAndre playing Mike, John Splitter, even though he missed the last 3 games last year, he's cleared. We're taking our time with him this year, but he's itching to get back. Evan Strom, who played defensive end for us, and will probably play some end, but will also play some linebacker for us. Obviously, Cody Perry, he will be playing strong safety for us this year, so we moved him from sandbacker to strong safety. Just gets him in space a little bit better. He's a good space player, and he knows how to find the ball and make good plays. The areas, offensive line-wise, we, with the addition of Jake, we do have one sophomore that's slated right now to play center. We bumped Jake over to guard, so we can kind of utilize his skills pulling and doing some different things with him. He's really versatile. He can play tackle, center, or guard. So we got one young pup, and he's trying and he's learning and he's doing well. But he is a sophomore, and he's going to have some growing pains, and we know that. And the biggest area on offense, is that quarterback spot. We were lucky enough to be able to get Izzy Hernandez, who's played baseball for us and been a really dominant baseball player for us for the last 3 years, to come back out and play quarterback. So he and JC are competing right now for that starting job. And they're 2 different players. JC is a very cerebral. He's a cerebral guy. He knows what we want, and his thing is consistency. Izzy is just coming into the fold. He's a dynamic athlete. He's a competitor. He's, so we're working with the both of them, and like we've told them, whoever is best is going to play. My job is to put the best 11 offensively on the field, and it's your job to compete against each other, work with each other, and push each other to be the best that you both can be, because no matter who starts, you're one play away from going in. So you got to prepare both the same way. So,
all right. And looking forward to seeing how everyone comes together. You have a week 1 opponent against Frontier.
Frontier, yeah. Tough game.
At Bakersfield.
It'll be a tough game. Our saving grace, one, is I think we're going to be a much better football team. No doubt about it. They're extremely talented. We have some film on them from their last 3 games last year, and holy man, they're good. They did lose a lot of seniors, so they're going to be kind of coming up. But I still expect them to be a pretty damn good football team. But I also think it's good to get the kids out of the area to see different competition, to see, hey, this is what it's about, So, again, I don't ever go into a game thinking you're going to lose. I mean, you always think you're going to find a way. That's going to be a challenge, but I'm up for it, and I think the kids are building themselves up for it. I think it'll be fun. It's going to be hot, and I know it, and we're preparing them for it. And we've actually had some warm weather here, so not obviously as warm as it's going to be over in the Central Valley, but at least it'll be at night, so it'll be in the 80s instead of in the 100s. So,
all right.
But we're looking forward to the year.
I am too, and I think a lot of Conqs fans are as well. And good luck, Coach.
Thank you very much.